a little bit Alexis, apparently. So, yeah, it's going to be loud because my family's here. Yay. And I brought notes because I didn't learn it off by heart. But I'm Elaine Burke. I am a cis white woman with a college degree and English as my first language. So in tech, I would be a diversity hire. But I don't work in tech. I'm a journalist. I cover tech and all the straight white men that make it up. I mean, really, I think the only industry that has more of them is murder. So, it's an interesting world. But you never know how people are going to react when you tell them you're a journalist. It can be, you can get funny reactions. And, it's very straightforward. I write articles. I'm published online and in print. I do a bit of live radio, do a bit of live telly. And where I come from, that is the pinnacle of achievement, to be on television and not covering your face, leaving or entering the Central Criminal Court. Really big achievement. So you think like this would be easy enough, but this is fucking terrifying. I'm really having to like reach back to my stage school days, and if I break down at some point and just start reciting lines from Greece, it's just a muscle memory coming back. But I'm not a stranger to the stage. I don't know if I performed Whelan's, but I was in a band as a teenager. Really cringy, emo, angsty shit. We had song titles like !3. That's not a joke. That's my actual life. And I'm not ashamed that you know that. Like I'm pretty impervious to shame. I think it's one of my superpowers. That's why I say yes to things like this. But if you had a mother like mine, you would also build up a really high tolerance for shame. Because she's so supportive. She's like the world's greatest cheerleader. Like everything I do is the best shit ever. So I had that going for me. It's really, really good. Thanks, Mum. I'm so glad you're here. But so like I said, I'm pretty impervious to shame. And a few weeks ago, I was having a smear test. And, my dad's here too. I'm in the stirrups, legs akimbo. It's a Donald Duck kind of situation, all blue shirt, no knickers. And the way it works, for all the men in the room, sometimes they try to relax you by creating some chit-chat while they're trying to shove a speculum up there. And that's happening. And the nurse just goes, "So, what do you do?" And it gets busy. And I go, "I'm a journalist." And she says as much into my vagina as to me, "So what do you think of all this Ryan Tuberty stuff?" So you just get funny reactions. You just never know what people are going to say. But yeah, I'm a science and technology journalist, and I've lost my place. And something I love about my job is that you get like unexpected things happen all the time, and you just got to work them on the fly. So one minute you're preparing a piece on how Amazon accidentally stored some children's voice data that they shouldn't have, those little rascals. And then the producer texts you and says, "Oh, could you also talk about this cage fight?" And of course I want to talk about the caged fight. Did you hear Adam earlier? Did you hear how shit it is to be a science journalist? The world is literally on fucking fire. So I would rather analyze Elon Musk's tweets. That's actually preferable in this scenario. So the world is on fire. We're at an end of days scenario. Let's just dive headlong into a post-apocalyptic Thunderdome style scenario. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. R.I.P. Tina Turner. That's my God. I mean, I think we should just go for it. Like, let's watch 2 of the world's richest men fight each other. Let's do it. Now, if it happened, let's just say it happened. Who would want Elon Musk to win? What? I can't believe we don't have Elon Musk fans in this house. I'm so shocked. He is humanity's greatest inventor. He invented the brand X. He invented that. He was giving that to you way before Exhibit was. I'm telling you, he's all about X. He invented space tourism. And I mean, if he wants to help shoot a load of rich people into space, who are we to stop him? He invented Grimes. No, sorry, no, she's a real person. But she is definitely going to get a couple of good albums out of him. So who's the real artist at work here? Like, Elon's great. And it's thanks to Elon that we'll all be banging around Mars in our automated Cybertrucks with our AI Grimes girlfriends. Oh, and our robots, our robot helpers, because Elon Musk invented humanoid robots. Did you know that? His is actually a man in a robot costume. DARPA didn't even think of that. Elon Musk is always one step ahead. He's a genius. People are kind of afraid of robots, though. Like, there's a lot of fear of like robot takeovers. You've got Terminator to thank for that, but I'm not afraid of a robot takeover in any way, shape, or form. I know exactly what to do if a super strong, sentient, bipedal robot is coming at me. Someone already knows the answer. All you gotta do is just boop, push them over. Just see those videos online where they're just pushing those things over? It's fucking hilarious. Millions and millions in R&D spending on high-tech cow tipping. It's fantastic. I recommend if you've not watched them. But I don't just write about Elon Musk and robots. I write about all sorts of science and technology. I interviewed a woman recently who is working on retrieving some of the precious materials that are in technology before it goes to landfill. I profiled a startup that is looking at ways that we could cool data centers but also harness that heat energy and use it elsewhere, creating like a circular economy of energy. I also recently found out about a device that you can put up inside yourself and connect it to an app so that you can gamify your kegel exercises. How are you doing that back there, Daddy? You doing okay? And there's also like this Irish company that's trying to like refine voice recognition technology for kids, and that can help with literacy assessments so that you can actually create early interventions if they're having any kind of trouble. Really great stuff. None of them are billionaires, though. So I'm just guessing that if you're trying to help kids or the environment or women, it's actually not very good. Because the billionaires obviously know what they're doing. Like, that's why they're billionaires. Like, they're investing in the future, our future. That's what they're doing. Like, look at Peter Thiel, for example. People know who I'm talking about. But if you don't know, Peter Thiel is a Silicon Valley investor bigwig, and he invests in all sort of disruptive stuff. He invests in PayPal, Facebook, Donald Trump, all of it. And, you know, his new thing, like, it's not kids or women or anything like that. His new thing is super-powered surveillance technology for police forces. That's the future. And I, for one, am really happy that a rich white man has taken up that banner. We really need that kind of power in those hands. Peter Thiel would have been friends with Sam Altman. Sam Altman is the CEO of OpenAI, and you've probably heard of ChatGPT, which is from OpenAI. And Sam Altman, he just never let his political differences get in the way of him and his buddy Peter Thiel's money. You gotta respect that, you know? Except when Peter Thiel's money got in the way of Sam Altman's other money, and then he kicked that bitch to the curb. Because that's the kind of win at all costs attitude you need to be a Silicon Valley billionaire. Like, that's what they have to do. So I'm sure you've all heard about ChatGPT. We're not gonna talk about that now because it's in the headlines all the time. Nothing to see here. Everything's going great. That's all fine. But he's also got a company called Tools for Humanity. Doesn't that sound great? Very safe hands. And that's got a project called WorldCoin. And WorldCoin is an iris biometric cryptocurrency project. And you just know when that many words come together into a phrase that makes absolutely no sense, it must be something very clever altogether. And what's going on with WorldCoin is that there's people around the world queuing up in front of an orb to get their eyeball scanned. And in return, they get a unique digital identity. And you know what you can do with that digital identity? No, I don't either. But I'm sure it's something cool. And you get $50 in cryptocurrency in return as well. And you can spend that on anything you want from the dark web. So, you know, the future is just really exciting. I just think, you know, we've got fake people robots, we've got super-powered surveillance, we've got a fair trade of $50 in cryptocurrency for your eyeballs. I mean, like, we truly live in an age of wonders. But I do wonder sometimes if tech journalists like myself are doing the cheerleading thing a little bit too much and we're creating these shameless billionaires. That's not great, maybe. And maybe, just maybe, all they're actually doing is maximizing their share prices while talking out of their arse. But who am I to say? I'm just a journalist and a woman. And sometimes medical professionals speak into my vagina. Thank you very much.